I know y'all ready to watch that Truth or Dare documentary, but not so fast, my little material girls and boys. We still got some random stuff to watch before we get there. Let's get to it.
It's more than a statement, it's a way of life. Celebration. The Mr. Jackson talking.
All right, I know y'all like, Empress, just go watch the documentary, but y'all know how I do, okay? We gotta marinate and soak all this stuff in, and we still voguing, okay? So let's check out some of this footage.
Controversies thus far was the release of her lead single Like a Prayer off her fourth studio album. The song was featured in a massive ad campaign for the company Pepsi. However, the day after the commercial was released, Madonna released the music video for Like a Prayer, which featured her dancing in front of burning crosses and kissing a black saint. The music video caused outrage amongst religious groups, and the backlash got so bad that it led to a direct call from the Vatican to boycott
Madonna Pied Piper of perversion. I wonder how long it took them to come up with that.
Pepsi and its subsidiaries. Pepsi ended up pulling the commercial down and canceled their plans to sponsor Madonna's
Yo, the two-tone hairstyle is one of my favorite Madonna looks. Like she looked really cool uh during this whole Like a Prayer era too before she took on her blonde ambition. Okay, let's go.
upcoming tour. Despite this, due to the sheer popularity of Madonna, her record
But something about that blonde hair is just like, oh, it's just give off different teas, right? It's just give something else. Let's go.
label greenlit the tour, and it was later named Blond Ambition. Early on in the creation of the Blond Ambition tour, Madonna was set on fashion designer Jean-Paul Gaultier designing the clothes. For those of you who are unfamiliar with his work, Gaultier was very much like the Madonna of fashion, in that he was
Okay.
known for his boundary breaking and unconventional designs. Madonna had been a fan of his clothes for a while, and actually wore one of his corsets to the premiere of her movie Desperately Seeking Susan, as well as one of his tutus in a Harper Bazaar photo shoot. Madonna had fashion photographer and close friend Herb Ritz reach out to Gaultier, and he eventually got him on board. Gaultier described his time working with Madonna as one of intense stress, claiming he had to go through 35 aspirins and 1,500 sketches before Madonna was satisfied with his designs. Gaultier actually had experience making cone bras before ever working
Hey, if I understand that we gonna do it, let's do it right, right?
with Madonna. He first debuted an exaggerated version of the cone bra in his fall-winter 1994 collection. His inspiration came from the 40s and 50s, as cone bras were a popular bra design amongst women due to famous actresses such as Marilyn Monroe, Lana Turner, and Jane Russell sporting the bras under tight sweaters. Madonna sporting the cone bra corset simply by itself, though, grabbed the public's attention in a way that none of her outfits had before.
Whoa, first of all, y'all see the muscles? Second of all, let's talk about this cone bra of the 50s. Like, what was that about? Okay. Like, who wanted to walk around like with some torpedoes and they sweater like do. Try me and I will shoot you. Alright, anyway, let's go.
She gave the look so much depth, as the comb bra was typically associated with old-fashioned femininity, but with Madonna's muscular body, the look also
But again, it's so interesting how that cone bra was equated to femininity because it looks so hard and cold and like ouch, right?
exuded authority and power. Since Madonna's initial debut with the bra in 1990, almost all the main pop girls of today have either recreated the look or completely reinvented it. In 2008, Lady Gaga started the trend when she wore a bra that shot out fireworks. In 2010, Katy Perry followed it up with the bra that shot out whipped cream. And in 2014, Ariana Grande reinvented the bra into a rocket launcher. The list of artists could go on, and it doesn't look like the trend has any plans of slowing down, as Doja Cat was seen with the comb bra earlier this year for the Planet Her photo shoot. The comb bra that Madonna Gaultier created will forever be iconic. It has become a part of pop culture and fashion history. Though Madonna doesn't always get the credit she deserves, she has undeniably become the blueprint for so many pop stars we know and love. Oh, and if you're wondering where Madonna's cone bra is today, it actually could be in your closet. Last week, Gaultier launched a runway rental service, unlocking the vault of his 30,000 piece archive, which includes the cone bra. It's an interesting thing that a lot of fashion houses are.
Interesting. All right. So the comb bra, I didn't really realize it had that kind of history. And again, it's after seeing like the footage of like the pop girls, the modern day pop girls, it's kind of like it seems like every pop girl, pop woman wears like this, I call it like uniforms. Like they all kind of wear the same thing and it just repeats itself over and over again. But shout out to Madonna for putting the corn bras back into pop culture, okay?
Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Now you yourself, obviously, you didn't come from a long line of fashion designers. How did you start in the business?
How did I start? I start, by sending like sketches. I didn't go to school for design. I send sketches to different designer, to Pierre Cardin, and at the age of 18, the day of my birthday, he said, you can come and you work with me. So I work with him, and I started like that.
Obviously, a lot of people know you, especially since, your involvement with Madonna. That's really kind of, put you on the front pages. How did you actually meet Madonna in the first place?
In the first place, no, I saw her the first time she was in MTV Awards. It was the first time she sang like a virgin, and she was great. But the audience was absolutely like very Puritan American type. So they were very quiet. But me, I was like making an ovation alone, not alone. We were like more, maybe 10. And she was great.
You designed all the clothes for her Blond Ambition.
That's one thing I wish I could have saw when I watched the like a version MTV reward show. Check out that playlist and I'll put the performance on the end cap of this video. But they didn't really pan out to the audience that much because I want to see like how is these folks really looking like this girl rolling on the ground. Ooh, baby. Let's go.
Hey, you guys. Truth is where you find it. Get up and vote. Truth is where you find it. Get up and go. Excuse me, but I'm singing in one key and you're singing in another. Dr. King, Malcolm X, freedom of speech is as good as sex. Abe, Lincoln, Jefferson, Tom, they didn't need the atomic bomb. We need beauty, we need art, we need government with hidden rhythm. Don't give up your freedom of speech. Power to the people is in our reach. Don't just sit there, let's get to it. Speak your mind, there's nothing to it. And if you don't vote, you're gonna get a spanky. Cut. Okay, give me.
Man, I know folks could not stand Madonna back then. It's probably like, what's wrong with this girl? Now she in lingerie draped in the flag. I know. Them cares is like, what? um, all right. So this was the original Vote or Die, it seems like, right? So that's cool. I didn't know they had been doing those kind of celebrity vote campaigns or endorsements, but it makes sense, right? They probably was doing it since like forever. So, all right, this is cool. This is cute.
Here we see Christ as the judge of mankind, looking down on us.
In the Catholic Church, traditionally, you are a sinner. I mean, basically, the idea is that when Adam and Eve, ate from the apple, or
Filler in the lip, her lip look a little more plump and different. Y'all drop the comments if y'all know what's going on.
had sex, from that day on, they were considered sinners, and all human beings are considered sinners, and so you're always striving to be good.
Madonna came into my class as a junior, and she sat right in front of me, And I focused completely on her, and she engaged me, and then later that engagement intensified.
I can believe it.
That she gave to me when she graduated high school. Mrs. Fellows, I cannot begin to tell you how I feel about you, and how I shall always treasure your words of encouragement. Sometimes I think you might explode with so much energy inside of you. I think you're crazy, and I'm madly in love with your craziness, and of course you, Madonna. No.
That was thoughtful, right? Like, who does that? And you done gave your teacher a photo and wrote her a little nice note. Drop the comments below.
One was surprised that Madonna made it, and that seems strange because this is a remote suburban community outside of Detroit, and the likelihood of somebody becoming famous, certainly as famous as Madonna, is really very remote. And yet there was such a quality of charisma about her personality that when this dream came true, we simply accepted it.
Madonna has said, "When I was tiny, my grandmother used to beg me not to go with men, to love Jesus and be a good girl. I grew up with two images of women, the virgin and the whore. It was a little scary." Madonna has often said that throughout her life, she's felt different from what others have expected her to feel.
Hey, that's still my favorite part of that video. Besides when she get off the boat. And yeah, that virgin whore dichotomy. I think it'll always be here as long as the planet is here, right? Don't you agree? Drop the comments below.
In videos, she often plays two roles, one questioning the other, for example, in Like a Virgin. Singing in an overtly sexual way, and mixing in her dress the lace gloves of the bordello with the crucifix. She makes a mockery of her grandmother's and the church's view that women are either virgins or whores.
I think the Madonna is probably the most powerful image from Catholicism or Christianity. I suppose it's the image of a mother, you know.
Oh, that's her brother, Christopher. Mm.
Because of that, a very important one. It was my mother's name. I don't know why my grandmother named my mother that. Now when I see the name printed somewhere, I have to check and see if it's about my sister or the original Madonna.
That's a crazy experience, I bet.
Someone named Madonna is inherently going to be controversial, but maybe the most important part of her controversy is the fact that Madonna is almost a religion, that she's almost a religious figure herself, that she's sort of a kind of saintly figure for a lot of people, and that people who are part of an established religion might find that threatening. I mean, it's hard to have a religion based on dead heroes when you have live heroes around who are, you know, taking away your customers.
Interesting, you used the word customers. Interesting.
Madonna draws on her own background, the use of Catholic iconography, and in her own modestly immodest way, she has seized back the crucifix for the masses, you know. They do not belong to John Paul II. They do not belong to any particular sect. They belong to all of us. Whether she meant to do that or not, it's had that effect. Suddenly, the crucifix as a fashion icon is something that caught people's imaginations, partly because they want something to believe in other than, you know, a Coca-Cola logo.
Religion plays, you know, a really big part in my work. I'm really fascinated by religious imagery. I'm not a practicing Catholic, but I'm still very curious about Catholicism and religion in general, not just Catholicism.
The things that inspire you are mysterious things, and there's something very mysterious about the church to us. And it's exploring those things. just about what we know, and using those images to evoke feelings that everyone has. Someone said to me the other day, you lit a fire under her, and I said, no, darling, I lit lots of fires, but her kindling was just in the right place. It took off. What fun she was, always that, what fun. And it's the kind of fun I like because it does not deny responsibility or deny seriousness or deny classicism, things that the love of what we were doing was all about.
When I met Christopher Flynn, my whole life changed. It wasn't just because studying dance with him gave me a focus, which is really important, and took me sort of out of what I consider to be a very humdrum existence. But he taught me about art and classical music and took me to museums, and he also took me out to my first gay discotheque, and I just saw a different side of life that I had never seen before.
She loved to dance, period, which is one of the things I admire very much. I like people who love to dance even more than they want to be ballet dancers. And she would clear the floor, and we'd just start cutting loose, and everybody loved her. And not because she was showing off. It's just that she so thoroughly enjoyed dancing that it just sprung out of her. Who you know who's more successful than this woman? That I find very difficult to relate to. I go, she's got all these zillions and billions of dollars or something, whatever, and that she can't move across this room without being deluged by people, etc. Where's my little Madonna?
I can see that. Like fame is such a weird thing, especially for people who know people, especially for people who knew the star before the fame. And I always wonder, like, in Madonna's instance, she was always called Madonna, but I think about like these people who changed their name, like especially like the old Hollywood stars, like somebody like Lana Turner, Joan Crawford, right? Basically all of old Hollywood, like it got to the point where your mother start calling your stage name. Like, when does that happen? Yeah, like the woman who named you starts calling you something else. Like, that's bizarre and weird, right?
She was very young. She was barely out of adolescence, plain little child with short kind of, what would we say, dishwater blonde hair, nothing special. Uh, she had a doll that was probably 2 feet long, little girl doll, little dress and so forth, stuck onto her arm. Looked just like the most innocent child in the world.
Christopher Flynn was the first person that told me I was beautiful, and that told me I was special, and that made me look at myself in a different way. I think I was 14 years old, and I was feeling horribly unattractive and unpopular and uninteresting and unfabulous. And he said, God, you're beautiful. And I mean, I don't think anyone ever said that to me before.
That's why words matters, like for real, especially when you're dealing with a younger person, somebody younger than you. like I always try to be conscious in like what I say to people, just simply because like you never know what somebody hangs on to. But not only that, you might not know. Like again, if somebody really is talented, don't sleep on them. Tell them because you could be that fire that's like they need. Like oh snap, you really think I'm dope? Okay, somebody to go rule the world.
And I said, what? You know, and he made me appreciate beauty, but not in a conventional way, you know, like really about spirit and soul.
It was becoming apparent that she was moving into a different direction, and academic dance is academic dance. That's all I can say about it. It can be thrilling and exciting in its own ways, but it has its limitations. And it was also necessary for her to explore lots of other things. She headed to New York, and I hear she asked the first cab driver to take her to the middle of things or whatever, and he took her to Times Square. Wonderful. That cab driver has a real sense of humor, that's all I can say. She had $75, something like that in her pocket. She had a doll under her arm, a little satchel of some sort. And I'm sure the most wide open, encompassing, vulnerable look in the world. Obviously, the taxi driver didn't really know where it was all happening because he wouldn't have taken her to Times Square. But Times Square is really disgusting. I'm sure it was really horrible, you know, with that much money in your pocket. We were both still relatively poor, you know, and living in not such great places, you know, in the Lower East Side, between the A and B Avenue, living on popcorn and tuna fish, you know, just real basic living with cockroaches and not much to eat in the winter, that sort of thing.
That ain't basic living.
Pretty disgusting. But I think we had some fun, you know. She was starting to perform in clubs and what we called track dates. So we were making money doing that, and I was dancing with her. And she was developing a following here in the city, which obviously means a lot to somebody who came here with $35 in her ballet slippers.
That's that remix for us to party. Okay, I hear it.
Acted every bit the superstar even then. Even though she was nothing, she tested her microphone from every angle to the point that the club had to open before my group got to have a sound check at all. And then after we did our opening act, she wouldn't let us share the dressing room with her. Her manager said we had to leave. Madonna was getting dressed, even though there was only that one dressing room for all of us. And we insisted on staying anyway. But I thought, this girl's not going to go anywhere. She's a major bitch. She's going to offend so many people, and she's going nowhere fast. And I was right.
Believable. I feel like that's probably what everybody thought. Like, oh, she ain't never gonna make it.
She had written 14 songs by then, and to me that was
That
really
boy
impressive.
Steven.
I've had a lot of training, but by then I still hadn't written one song. So I thought, well, this is great. If a person can come from dance school and decide to be a songwriter and become a songwriter merely by volition, then I think I can do that too.
See, that's how you inspire folks in your everyday life. Like they like, dang, well, done, you was just dancing. Now you write songs. Shoot, I'm about to start picking up a pen, writing songs too. Okay, let's go.
Discovered Madonna at Danceteria. The DJ there told me about her. He had met her before I did and told me about this wild-looking girl, had her own look, was very beautiful, and had a tape, which was good. It wasn't outstanding, but I had Madonna sitting in my office. There was this girl that was just radiating, and whatever that certain something is, she had it.
Nice
She had
picture.
more of it than
Cool
I'd
picture.
seen. And I just knew that there was a star just sitting here in my office. And I turned to her and I said, so what do you want to do? She said, I want to make records. I said, okay.
Suddenly, there she was, having once been kind of street and ethnic, in the midst of Hollywood and theater blondness and style.
Like, yeah, yo, that early Madonna, like, again, just the whole come up story is crazy. Okay, let's go.
I think people just assumed that she was stupid and superficial when she first emerged, because she was a young, sexy thing, a young girl. Then it turned out that she wasn't, that she had a great deal of say and control over this persona that was clearly developing and in an intelligent, shrewd way. That you could look at her and she was mysterious. She was opaque.
Madonna has often said in interviews that she has a deep sense of guilt and a feeling that she will be punished. She sometimes links this guilt to her mother's death. Whatever the origins of Madonna's feelings about guilt and punishment may be, her lyrics and her videos show a preoccupation with punishment and with images that fuse sex and aggression.
I think I spent a lot of years hating my father when I first moved away from home for forcing me, for being such a disciplinarian and forcing me to go to church and wear a dress all the time. But I guess the older I get, the closer I feel to him, and the more accepting I am of what I consider to be his shortcomings. Learning experience to deal with my fears, to deal with my past, to deal with my life, and express myself through my work. And I mean, let's face it, it's not 100% autobiographical. I draw from things that have happened to me.
The press treatment of Madonna has always followed her lead. Think about the nude photo flap. Remember that? When both Playboy and Penthouse
Yeah, Madonna came a long way, but again, it's only been 6 years, and he talking about remember that, so much stuff has happened in these 6 years.
discovered that Madonna had posed for nude pictures way back in, 79, 80, something. And they bought the rights to these pictures and they stuck them in their magazines and they tremendous publicity. Well, now this sort of thing has been happening to women in the entertainment business for hundreds of years. Happened to Louise Brooks, it happened to Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, didn't know that about Louise Brooks. She was a silent film star. Interesting. Okay, I thought Marilyn was the first. Okay, but of course not, right? Those girls had to pay the bills. Yo, where your camera at? Let's go.
Always been a scandal and people try and suppress pictures and say, oh, I was so poor, I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't understand what I was... He talked me out of my clothes. Madonna says, what's the big deal?
But Marilyn said it first. All right, let's go. Oh, that was really cool to watch, right? I wasn't expecting that. Drop in the comments below. I know y'all got a mouthful, so go ahead and drop the comments below. And we got one more little video. All right, hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Hey. Let's see. I'll never go watch all this. It's like she just sitting down somewhere or something. Her Christopher. Yo, shout out to what's that not the vibe. What's this group name? I believe in the power of love. I believe whatever. She be snapping. I forget their name. But I react to that song. Check it out. All right, so she kisses John Paul Gaultier. What happened here? Like it's over with. All right, yeah, bull. So, all right, we spent about half an hour together. What y'all think? Drop the comments below. Just get it all out. So what's next for us is before I get to this documentary, I gotta check out the Immaculate Collection, right? The greatest hits. I heard there's 2 new songs on there, so we gotta check them out. And I'm excited about that new music. Um, and yeah, we rocking and re rolling, right? All right, again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you're new, I am taking a full Madonna journey from in chronological order. So we've done the first album, we've even done demos. Okay, now we're in the about to be the greatest hits, the Immaculate Collection greatest hits, which is just again 6 years in, but that has greatest hits. Like wow. But anyway, yep, that's where we're headed next. Check out my Madonna playlist. All the videos are there. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit me up on Patreon. There you can request what songs you want me to react to outside of Madonna. And yeah, I hope everybody's out there feeling good, staying safe, and believing in the power of love. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.